Hello dear traders, in this lecture I will introduce the new traders to the strategy builder EA Studio, and those of you who already watched some of my courses or know the software from before know that this is a software which we are using to generate and most of all to export strategies as expert advisors without programming skills. Okay, so I will go through the whole process that I followed to create the expert advisors for the Australian dollar versus the American dollar, and I will cover step by step each feature that I'm using in the strategy builder. So if you want to do your own expert advisors, if you want to test the program, you can follow along with the course and create expert advisors for any other trading assets like stocks, currencies, cryptocurrencies, indexes, and so on. Okay, the Expert Advisor Studio has some great statistical features which are very important in algorithmic trading and when we are trading with expert advisors. And as well, I will show you how to export the historical data from your broker into EA Studio, which is a very important first step in algorithmic trading. As well, I will provide you with the script that you will need to have in order to export your historical data from your broker when you are generating or creating strategies with EA Studio. Okay, so if you look now at our website at EA Forex Academy, you will find it up in the menu where we have the forum, the courses, and our blog where you can read much more about algo trading. Now I expect very soon the new design, but still EA Studio will be here right on the top. So this is a strategy builder that we have integrated to our website to make it easier for our students and traders to use it very quickly. And actually you can register for 14 days free trial and you can test it out. Okay, so during this period you will be able to export many expert advisors and you will be able to generate unlimited number of strategies. So what is the idea of having strategy builder when we are trading? What you can see if I go to strategy is that I have a server over here, I have the currency pairs, and I have the time frames. Below I have the strategy with stop loss, take profit, long entry, long exit. Here you can build your strategy if you have some manual strategy that you have been testing or using, and you can export it as expert advisor. So for example, if I click on add a new entry rule and I go to ADX rises, let's say period of 20, just very randomly I'm taking some indicators, and then I will add another entry rule and I will say the marker crosses the level line upward, and I will go with period of 20 again and level of 0.3, and I will click on accept, and you will see that so far it shows me that the strategy is losing. All right, so what is the unique thing here is that you will see immediately if your strategy is actually profitable or it is losing. Okay, here you can choose if you want to use the stop loss. So if it is not used, you're not using it. Fixed, you're using a stop loss. Trailing stop loss as well you can add, and let's say we will add some random stop loss and take profit again. So I will go to 50 with trailing stop loss. Okay, take profit, fixed, let's go to 100 and I will click on accept, and you see there is no any difference with this strategy if I'm using this trailing stop loss and this fixed take profit. So let's make it smaller, 10 and 20. I will click on accept, and you see there was some difference, but still this strategy is losing. Okay, and if I add an exit rule, let's say accelerator oscillator false, and I will click on accept, you can see there was a change in the balance line, but still this strategy is losing. One more time, I have taken all of this very randomly. Just I wanted to show you that if you place here the indicators of your strategy that you are using, you can see immediately what is the balance chart, and if you change any of the periods or the levels, so if I go down to 5, you will see immediately the difference. If I go to a higher number like 50, you will see again the difference. On the left side we have the indicator chart. This is where we can see the chart with the indicators that are used in this strategy, and we can see where the trades were open and where the trades were closed. So if we have these green bars below the chart, we are in a long trade, we are buying. If we have the red ones, we are selling, and there are these small arrows which show us when the trade was opened, where was the take profit. Here, because we have a trailing stop loss, you can see it's moving a little bit, and so on. Much information about the strategy over the indicators chart. We have statistical information. This is quite new actually in EA Studio. I have recorded already some free videos that you can find in our forum about the statistics and how useful they are. And then we have the balance chart in details. We have drawn down in percentage. We have drawn down in currency, the stagnation days, long balance, short balance, a lot of statistical information in EA Studio. And we have the journal, which shows all trades that were open, at what price, where is the stop loss, where is the take profit, what was the balance at the end. Alright, so let me remove this strategy, because as we said, this was not actually a strategy, but just randomly I have placed some indicators, stop losses and take profits, just to demonstrate to you how you can build your own strategy. Now, if you don't have a strategy, what you can do is you can generate your own strategies using the generator. Okay, this is the great feature that we have in EA Studio, and this is why I selected to use EA Studio a lot in our trading academy, because it gives us much possibilities, and actually you can read in the forum much more for EA Studio from our students, traders. Many people are now sharing results, which is great, and it makes me happy that more and more people are using it, because it's really very useful strategy builder. Alright, so what we do with the generator is we can select the data source. This is normally the data that is coming from our broker, and I will show you at the end of this video how to export historical data for your broker. And then we have the symbol. So we can select which symbol we want to generate strategies for. I will stick with the Aussie, and for the very newbie traders, the Australian dollar versus the American dollar is called to be Aussie. It's a slang word for this currency pair, so most of the time I call it Aussie. Alright, and then we have the strategy properties. So here you decide what lots to use in your trading strategy, if you want to use a stop loss or not, what type, is it trailing, fixed or trailing, between what range you want to have your stop loss, between 10 and 100 for example. Take profit, if you want to use take profit, if you do not want to use take profit. May use means that you will see generated strategies with a take profit, without a take profit. Basically the program will decide if there will be a take profit or not. And then with the generator settings, we can set how many working minutes we want the generator to be working. And then we have here search best. So if you leave it to net balance, it will show you first the strategies that are with the biggest balance, and you can choose other criteria below. And then we have out of sample and in of sample. This is what we will be talking about in this course. This will be part of one of the methods that I will show you how to avoid the demo testing. But right here I will just leave it in sample, which means that I will be using the whole trading period that I have for the broker, and I will remove the acceptance criteria, which I will explain you later on in more details. And if I press on start, you will see that I already have many strategies into the collection. Okay, if I click on it, you will see how many strategies I have. So all of these strategies are for the Aussie on M15, and if I click on any of them, you will see their balance chart, what are the entry rules and the exit rules. You can see details about the indicators and where the trades were opened and closed, and one more time, a lot of statistical information about the strategy over here. And if I go back to the generator, you will see what is the speed of EA Studio. Just for a couple of seconds, not even a minute yet, we have more than 2000 strategies right now. Okay, 34%, so I guess it's about 1 minute already that it's working, and you can see much better strategy here was just generated. Now EA Studio generates hundreds of strategies, thousands of strategies. What we need to do is we need to learn how to filter them, and this is where comes the acceptance criteria. So we can set different acceptance criteria such as minimum net profit, minimum count of trades, and many others that I will show you in the next lectures. So we will see less number of strategies, but they will be with better equity lines and they will be with better statistics. Okay, now I will stop this generator, and what I want to show you is the key point here of using EA Studio is that if you like any of the strategy, you can export it with one click as an expert advisor for MetaTrader 4 or for MetaTrader 5. So here is the beneficial thing of using EA Studio. With one click, we export any strategy as an expert advisor. We don't need to hire developers to do that for us. We don't need to write the code manually. And I'm not a developer, I don't know how to do that, and really I don't need to know to do that because it will take me years to learn it, how to do it, and it will take me a lot of money if I hire developers, because before the strategy builders were created, I actually hired developers to code the strategies for me as expert advisors, and it was really expensive because these guys take a lot of money, and in the end of the day, very hard to come up with a profitable strategy, because even having the expert advisor, we didn't have this statistical information that I told you, which is very important, and we never know if a strategy is really profitable if we don't place it in a strategy builder and we don't do a back testing and we don't see the actual results for the tested period. So for example, here you can see this is from last February till now, almost 1 year. Okay, this is 24,000 of bars. This is the historical data that we are using for the Aussie dollar. And now in the next lecture, I will show you how to download the historical data from your broker and how to import it in EA Studio, just because it is very important if you want to generate your own strategies to use your own historical data, because the different brokers, they provide different bid and ask price, which forms different historical data. Okay, all of this what you see on the chart before the current moment, we call it to be a historical data, and I will provide you with a script in the next lecture which you can use to export this data from your broker. All right, thank you very much for watching. This was a brief introduction to EA Studio Strategy Builder. Really very useful software, which I said you can test for 14 days and you can export and generate and test as many strategies as you wish. All right, see you in the next lecture. Cheers.